Jess here. Now as IGN's E3 live show rolls on, if you're a gamer with any kind of pulse, you probably know who Lara Croft is. After all, the starlet of the Tomb Raider series is one of the few game characters to become a worldwide celebrity. Well, Lara is back in the new game that isn't called Tomb Raider. Get set for Lara Croft and the Guardian of Light.
What's up, everyone? Thank you for joining us for this special live demo of Lara Croft and the Guardian of Light. We have two young, fresh fellows from Crystal Dynamics here to tell us all about it. Guys, thanks for bringing the game by.
No problem. More than welcome.
So this is a very different Tomb Raider game. So different, in fact, that Tomb Raider's not even in the title.
Yes, as a studio, we made the decision to split the two of them up. We have two teams. One's working on the pillar release, and then Dan heads up the team, basically working on being fresh, creative, trying to take Lara Croft into new places.
So what's new about this game? This is it's designed to be played cooperatively, yes?
Yeah. So there's two players. There's a really big focus. When we designed the game, even though it is co-op and single player, you can play it either way, we designed it as co-op because one of our big points of the game was to try to make it a true co-op experience, is what I call it, where the two players really have to work together to get through all the puzzles and challenges instead of just two people living in the same game at the same time, kind of playing on their own.
And so who are the two characters? One player plays as Lara.
Yeah, one is definitely Lara, and the other character is the ancient Guardian of Light, Totek, who's the master of the shield and spear, which are great for the combat in the game, but they also serve as some of the co-op moves that you'll see a little bit later.
So we're here in the spider tombs now, yes?
Yes, you've just literally finished the second chapter, which is the courtyard, which is our biggest sprawler space in the entire game. And you've entered into the spider tomb, so you're going to make your way now all the way through effectively what's like a corkscrew. We tease the player, as you see here. You can see some of the ways in which you're going to play. Every single part of this level is playable, which is a big deal for us. We don't want to kind of hide stuff. Players see it, they know they're going to make their way to it. Ultimately, you've got to make your way all the way down to the very bridge at the very end.
So they'll get over, and you can see some verticality here in this space. Since Lara and Totek's moves tend to be vertical, one of the big challenges we had on this project was to create these vertical spaces with an isometric camera, and this is one of my favorite examples of that.
Yeah, tell us about these co-op moves. Lara has this grappling hook, right? Yeah,
so what you just saw there, we call the leap of faith, and this is one of what we call the trust co-op moves, where one player is just jumping to what would be their death. If the other player doesn't hit the button at the right time, they won't catch him, and your buddy's going to get mad at you if that happens.
Sure. And Totek has, you mentioned his spear.
Yeah, he has a spear, so he can throw his spears into the walls anywhere in the game or any of the objects in the game, and Lara can jump to those. Totek's too heavy. If he jumps on it, it breaks. He can throw up to 3 at a time in the world, so they can use that to make a lot of ladders and bridges for Lara to cross big gaps. And then she can use her grapple hook to get Totek across.
She can also stand on his shield, right?
Yeah, she can stand on his shield. While she's standing on his shield, he can still move, and he can also jump for a co-op double jump. She can jump from his jump to get to even higher places.
So then how does the game work if you're playing it by yourself?
So when you play single player, rather than doing an AI character, which can probably get pretty frustrating in the puzzles that we have in the game, we decided to just boost Lara's abilities. So we've actually given her Totek's spear. The story's a little bit different in single player, and Totek actually gives you the spear, so Lara can throw the spears into the walls and jump to them herself. And also, one of the things that we did is we actually redesigned a lot of the puzzles in the game to be right for the single player experience. We would design it co-op, and then we would go in and kind of use that as the inspiration for the single player puzzle.
I see. So when you're playing it cooperatively like we are here, it's all about working together and using each character's unique abilities to figure out how to solve a puzzle.
Yeah.
The goal ultimately was, if we were going to do co-op, we wanted to make sure that it wasn't just a feeling like a multiplayer where you know you're playing with somebody but they're on a separate mission. This was about bringing people together. Every single thing that we've done has that in mind. Obviously, we've been talking about the co-op play first and foremost above the single player to make sure that people really understand we've taken the time to really make it a real co-opetition, as we've called it.
And you'll be able to play cooperatively online, yes?
Yes, online, offline.
So one of the things that you're seeing here is that rolling ball, which is actually a really cool thing in our game. It's completely physics driven and really dynamic. The players can, it's really intuitive to just pick it up and roll it around. They can use the bomb to blow it up to different spaces, and it's like really great for puzzles. You can also roll over creatures with it. It's pretty fun. You can see Totek using his spears to get Lara up to that reward that they just picked up. They just picked up a reward that boosts the player's overall ammo bar, so now they can get better weapons and use them longer.
And you can see as an example of the co-op, they work together to get that ammunition, so they both benefit from it. Whereby as a player individually can pick up jewels and gems and health packs on their own. When you work together, you get rewarded for it.
You can see that they're getting points as they're doing combat. That's one of the co-opetition elements of our game. The game is really focused on two people kind of building relationship and working together to get over obstacles. But there's only so many gems and so many enemies to earn points off of, and you get really big unlocks for the character if you can earn enough points. So it becomes a little bit of a competition of who can get that gem first, who can kill more enemies than the other guy.
We've also spent a lot of time working on sort of the casual and the hardcore gameplay aspects. So we have critical and non-critical tombs. So for the casual player who just wants to get stuck in and play through it, you come across a puzzle. If you don't want to do that big puzzle, there's sort of an easy fix to it to be able to help you continue through. But for the Tomb Raider fans, which we wanted to make sure that they were very happy with taking this into this new space, there's the sort of the harder tombs, which can spend 5 or 10 minutes playing. So really we've built it for the two different players. And there's a lot of replayability. You don't have to do those tombs to beat the game, but it does make you want to go back and beat them because of the likes of we have artifacts and relics, which help things like your health and your bombs and your defense. So there's really got a lot of opportunity to go back in and play these levels over and over again.
And when you complete a level, your score is posted to the leaderboards, yes?
Correct. And we also have achievements throughout the entire game as well. So before you start the level, it tells you exactly what you have to do. An example was there where you came up towards the rolly ball. It tells you if you manage to score a hole in one, you get an achievement, which then unlocks an artifact. If you don't get that by the end of the level, obviously you want to go back in and help to power yourself up before you hit some of the bigger bosses later on in the game.
I tried playing this puzzle before. This one, this is a rough one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is actually a good example. You can see that there's a